Good morning students. So welcome back to chemistry class. Last class we discussed about the concentration of a solution. How to express the concentration of a solution. Two different ways we discussed, isn't it? What we discussed, mass by mass percentage and mass by volume percentage. So based on that equation we just pass through one problem-wise questions. So you should understand how to do this problem-wise question. That is the only intention for this question. Okay, so I had already written in box. Just read out. A solution contains 40 gram of common salt in 320 gram of water. So what it is? A solution contains 40 gram of common salt. Common salt means what? Sodium chloride. Our curry is 40 gram of a common salt and which dissolves in 320 gram of water. Water 320 gram water dissolve. Calculate the concentration in terms of mass by mass percentage of the solution. So calculate the concentration of the given solutions whose concentration have to find out. In terms of what? Mass by mass percentage. In terms of what? Mass by mass percentage. So then first of all I am going to write the equation needed to do this problem. What is mass by mass percentage? Mass by mass percentage. What is the equation? We know. What is the equation? Mass of the solute by mass of the solution into 100. Mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution into mass of the solute by mass of the solution into 100. And then you just look at here, numerator and denominator. We need this numerator and denominator to do this problem. The first of all, it is mass of the solute. Is it given in your question? Okay, just check it out. A solution contains 40 gram of common salt. That is the mass of a solute. Just write down over here. Mass of a solute equal to 40 gram. Okay, so just to read the question well and take out the quantities given in the question. Then next one is mass of the solution. Mass of the solution. Mass of the solution means, as all you know, solution which is comprising of or which is the combination of a solute and a solvent. And look at over here. 40 gram of common salt means 40 is it's a mass of solute which dissolves in 320 gram of water. This is solvent avade ethrayana 320 aanu 40 gram solute and 320 gram solvent. So by mixing these together we got the solution. So what would be the mass of the solution? This 40 plus 320 will be the mass of the solution. So 40 plus 320. So what would be the answer? 360. So what would we get? We got the mass of solute and the mass of the solution. Mass of solute is 40 gram and mass of the solution is 360 gram. Okay. So what are the quantity that we need to do to find out the mass by mass and mass percentage of the solution? All are given, all are we got. So just substitute over here. Mass of the solute is what? 40. Mass of the solution is what? 360 into 100. Okay, just it's a cancel out and then we got the value. Just write down the value as a 11.1%. 11.1%. So this will be the answer. So like this type question may ask, can you just find out the quantities given in the question and then just substitute the substitute over the equation. First of all, what should you do? You should study the equation and after only you can do the problem based. Whatever be the problem based question, the method or the way that you have to do like this. First of all, write the equation, then write down each and every quantities, and if you have the enough quantities are there, you just substitute over here and then find out the answer. Understood all of you? So only one question had given in your textbook, so I just discuss about that. The next one is one more classification under homogeneous and heterogeneous is their colloids. We need to discuss about the colloids. So let's discuss about the colloids. Colloids. So we discussed about solution and suspension. So colloid is also a heterogeneous mixture. Colloid is comes under this homogeneous and heterogeneous in the classification വരുന്ന വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു classification ആണ് heterogeneous mixture വരുന്നതാണ് colloids. So we need to discuss about that. So colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. And it is actually the intermediate between solution and suspension. Solution, their particle is very small, less than 1 nanometer. But suspension, the particles can be seen through our naked eyes. But for colloids, and their solution is not greater than suspension, but greater than solution. Solution the particles nekkalum korchude valiya particles aanu colloids il present. Ennal suspension the particles inde athrayum valiya particles um alla evide ullathu nammade colloids il ullathu. That type of a system is said to be colloid. So how can you define the colloids? Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture, and the size of the particle, the size of the particles of the colloid is enough size. They are in between 1 nanometer and 1000 nanometer. 1 nanometer, 1000 nanometer the range ആയിരിക്കും their particle size. And such a type of a mixture is known as a colloid. So what is colloid? Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture in which the particle size is in between solution and suspension. Understood all of you? That means enough particle size they possess. A lot of example will be there. A typical example, the example that you came to understand very easily may be milk. Milk is an example for colloids. Ink, mushy. Ink is an example for colloids. Butter, hair gel. And all these comes under the examples for these colloids. So what is colloids? Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture in which the particles, size of the particle is in between solution and suspension. Okay. When you consider solution, there are two components are there. What are they? Solute and solvent. Solute and solvent. The same way, colloid also constitute two components, and they are dispersed phase and dispersant medium. What are they? Dispersed phase and dispersant medium. The two components of colloids are dispersed phase and dispersant medium. So the two components of colloids are dispersed phase and dispersant medium. Dispersed phase and dispersant medium. Dispersed phase means it is a solute like a component. Solute like a component. അതായത് നമ്മളൊരു സൊല്യൂട്ട് നമ്മളൊരു കൊളോയിഡ് എടുത്താൽ അതിൽ ആ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾ ലെവൽ കമ്പോണന്റ് ആണ് ഡിസ്പേഴ്സ്ഡ് ഫേസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. വാട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ്? എ സൊല്യൂട്ട് ലൈക്ക് കമ്പോണന്റ് ഈസ് ഡിസ്പേഴ്സ്ഡ് ഫേസ്. Solute like component is dispersed phase. And dispersant medium is in solution. Solvent how work, and the same way in colloids dispersant work. What it is? It is a solvent like component. What it is? Solvent like component. solvent-like component. So the two components of this colloid is dispersed phase and dispersed medium. Dispersed phase means it is a solute-like component, and the dispersed medium means it is a solvent-like component. Then let's discuss out its properties. What are the properties possessed by the colloids? Okay, so hope you understand about the colloids. Now we like to discuss about the properties of colloids. First property what would be? It is a heterogeneous mixture. What it is? Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. Then second property, the size of the particles are enough to scatter the beam of light. അതായത് നമ്മൾ കൊളോയിഡ്സിലൂടെ നമ്മുടെ ലൈറ്റ് പാസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അത് ലൈറ്റിനെ സ്കാറ്റർ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതായത് ലൈറ്റിനെ സ്കാറ്റർ ചെയ്യത്തത്രയും സൈസ് ഓഫ് ദ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് അതിന് പൊസസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. Okay, so the size of the particle is enough to scatter the beam of light. Second property, it scatter the beam of light. It is scatter the beam of light. Second property, it is scatter the beam of light. And then next one is it do not, that means the colloids do not settle down when we kept undisturbed for some time. നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് നേരം അനക്കാതെ, നമ്മൾ പാലെടുത്ത് കുറച്ച് നേരം അനക്കാതിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് സെറ്റിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നതായിട്ട് കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇല്ല. It do not settle down when we keep undisturbed for some times. Do not settle down. Then fourth one, the colloids cannot be separated through filtration process. നമുക്ക് ഒരു അരിപ്പൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഫിൽറ്റർ ചെയ്തെടുക്കാൻ മിൽക്ക് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നടക്കില്ല. So it cannot be separated through the filtration process. Alternate method should be used for this, like centrifugation, etc. What it is? Centrifugation, etc. So this cannot be separated through the filtration process. Cannot be separated through filtration. Then what method we can adopt over here? Centrifugation. One method will be there. നമ്മുടെ മിൽമയിലൊക്കെ പാലൊക്കെ ഇങ്ങനെ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ക്രീമും ഒക്കെ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന മെത്തേഡാണ് സെൻട്രിഫ്യൂഗേഷൻ method. Centrifugation method. So these are the important properties possessed by the colloids. What are they? Let's do. Let's look at here. And it is a heterogeneous mixture, and their particles are large enough to scatter the beam of light. And when you keep undisturbed for some time, these colloids do not settle down, and it cannot be separated through the filtration process. And for that, we need a centrifugation method should be. Then next one is, so these are the properties of colloids. Then next we going to discuss about the property possessed by a special property possessed by the colloids, and they are, it is Tyndall effect. Tyndall, T-Y-N-D-A-L-L, Tyndall effect. What is Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect. So Tyndall effect means did you notice when you have then if you have the home, and then when the sunlight is allowed to pass through certain holes over our house, and you can see the path of light. പല പഴയ വീടുകളൊക്കെ ഇപ്പം കാണാൻ പറ്റും. പഴയ വീടുകളൊക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഓടിൻ്റെ ഇടയിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഹോൾസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ through that holes when the sunlight enters, the path can be seen like this way. കണ്ടോ? നമുക്ക് ഇതേപോലെ path can be seen, and that effect is known as Tyndall effect. That means this when the sunlight enters through the holes and there are smoke particles and dust particles are there. Smoke is a perfect example for colloids. When the sunlight enters through the hole and these smoke particles scatter the beam of light, sunlight. As a result, the path of light is visible. Path of light is visible. And then you can find out in your textbook one figure is there. Then canopy of forest when the sunlight enters and the sunlight path can be seen. So that effect is known as a Tyndall effect. That effect is known as a Tyndall effect. That means the scattering of sunlight by colloids, and that effect is known as a Tyndall effect. The scattering of a beam of light by the colloidal particle is known as Tyndall effect. The scattering of beam of light by the colloidal particle is known as Tyndall effect. Once more, the scattering of beam of light by the colloidal particle is known as Tyndall effect. One scientist who find out the Tyndall effect is Tyndall, and that's why it came or its name as a Tyndall effect. Then after discussing this Tyndall effect, we almost discussed about the colloids. Now you have one table is there in your textbook, table 2.1. Can you see this one? Table 2.1. This is not that much important, but I just read out this table. Okay, and here a dispersed phase and dispersed medium had given here, and based on this type is given and their example is given. First of all, if dispersed phase is liquid, that means solute-like component is a liquid and medium is gas and their type is known as aerosol, and example fog, cloud, mist. Then dispersed phase solid and dispersed medium gas, the type is also known as aerosol, smoke, automobile exhaust, etc. If the dispersed phase is gas and medium is liquid and the type is foam, shading green is an example for color. So all these are taken as an example. Then if the phase is liquid and medium is liquid, which is known as emulsion, and example milk and the phase cream. Then phase is solid and medium is liquid and the type is salt, and their example milk of magnesia and mud. Phase is gas and medium is solid and the type is a foam again, and their example is foam, rubber, sponge, pumice. Pumice is the type of stone. Then it's a phase liquid and medium solid and the type is gel, and example is jelly, cheese, butter. Then if dispersed phase is solid and medium is solid, both are solid, the type is a solid salt, example colored gemstone and milky glass. So these are the examples. We just read out 2 or 3 times and just to make you understand what it is. I just read out here to make you understand. You just read out thrice or twice or thrice and you should know what it is. Okay, so this is about this chapter. Second chapter. So the next portion in your chapter is a separation of components, separating the components of a mixture. So last year CBSE had reduced the topic from your syllabus, and this year I have to confirm once more. Then if this portion is there, and I will take the next class, otherwise and we will move on to the next chapter, third chapter. Okay, so hope all you understand today's class and stay healthy and stay safe and stay happy also. Thank you.